Crack. That sound. It wasn't just glass shattering, it was the sound of control, breaking, and that was just the beginning. No TikToks in my neighborhood. How a power-drunk HOA president got handcuffed by justice. It started like any other lazy summer afternoon. The sun hung low and golden. Kids played. Lawns were freshly cut. Ice cream trucks echoed faintly in the distance. Then, a scream. Zoe, my 15-year-old cousin who had been visiting me for the summer, stood frozen on the sidewalk, her phone now a glittering mosaic of shattered glass at her feet, and standing over her, arms crossed, jaw clenched tight enough to grind concrete. Karen. Not just any Karen. Karen Watson, self-appointed queen of our HOA, gray bob, beige visor, clipboard in one hand, judgment in the other. "No TikToks in my neighborhood," she barked, like it was a line rehearsed just for this moment. Zoe fell to her knees, tears streaking her cheeks as she reached for the destroyed remains of her phone, her lifeline, her outlet, her voice. I was just getting home, grocery bags in hand, when I saw the aftermath. Neighbors stood still, half in disbelief, half unsure whether they'd just witnessed a crime or suburban justice. "Someone call the cops!" a man yelled, already dialing. Karen didn't flinch. She smirked. Zoe had come to stay with me while her parents were overseas. A quiet, artistic soul who barely spoke in crowds but danced freely when alone. TikTok was her diary. Earlier that day, she'd been outside, filming a silly dance video on the public sidewalk, no different from countless kids her age. But Karen saw something else. She saw a threat, not to safety, not to people, to control. Apparently, she'd been watching from her window, her sacred HOA rulebook perched nearby, when she deemed Zoe's dance an unauthorized production. Karen stormed out of her house like she was leading a crusade. "You're inviting predators," she shouted. "You're violating HOA bylaws." Neighbors peeked out their windows. Some stepped outside. Zoe tried to explain. She was just dancing. That's all. But Karen's eyes were already burning with fury. She reached forward, grabbed the phone from Zoe's hands, and slammed it to the pavement. Hard. The silence that followed was deafening. I rushed to Zoe, putting my groceries down. "Are you okay? What happened?" Through sobs, she told me everything. I looked down at the phone, not cracked, ruined. Karen stood nearby, arms crossed again, proud, unapologetic. "I was protecting the community," she declared. "You destroyed her property," I said, voice low and steady. "She violated HOA rules, Section 12, Paragraph 4. She's 15, I snapped. "She's not filming a documentary, she's doing a dance. You had no right." Karen waved me off like I was an annoying fly. But by then, it was too late. People had gathered. Phones were out. And one of them was David Chen, a neighbor and a corporate attorney. "Karen," he said calmly, "what you just did was destruction of property and harassment of a minor." Karen scoffed. "You're not serious." "I am. And you should press charges," David said, turning to me. Then, the sound of sirens. Blue and red lights danced over Karen's face, which now looked a lot less smug. 2 officers approached. Karen stepped forward confidently, painting herself the victim, of course. "I was enforcing regulations," she claimed. But when the officers heard from witnesses and saw the video evidence, they turned to Zoe gently. "Is this what happened?" they asked. Zoe nodded, still holding the broken pieces. That's when they turned to Karen. "Ma'am, did you destroy her phone?" Karen stood straighter. "As HOA president, I confiscated a device used in violation of—" "Ma'am," the officer interrupted, "you have no legal right to destroy personal property." Her tone hardened. "We'll need your ID." Karen hesitated. Her face paled. Still, she fumbled through her purse and handed it over. The officers reviewed the footage again, took witness statements, and finally, "Ma'am, you're under arrest for destruction of property and harassment." The gasps from the crowd were audible. Karen's eyes widened in disbelief. "You can't arrest me. I run this neighborhood." But HOA power means nothing when it collides with the law. She was cuffed, escorted to the squad car, and as the door closed behind her, click, a spontaneous round of applause broke out. The aftermath? Karen was charged, found guilty, and sentenced to probation, restitution, and community service. She was banned from any HOA leadership for 3 years and ordered to stay at least 100 feet away from my property and from Zoe. In court, she cried, "This is outrageous. I gave everything to that neighborhood." The judge didn't even look up when he replied, "Next case." Moral of the story. Control isn't leadership. Moral of the story. Control isn't leadership. Enforcing rules doesn't justify cruelty. When your authority becomes a weapon instead of a shield, you stop protecting the community and start poisoning it. Respect doesn't come from a title. It comes from how you treat the people who have none.